Welcome back to the workbench. Hey guys, Matt from Model Minutes here, and today I'm taking a look at this, the IL-2m3 in Operation Berlin colours from Mistercraft. Join me as I take a look inside the box and find out what this kit is like. Now, I've already had this one open and taken a look on the inside, and if you're not sitting down, I suggest that you do so, because this may well be the worst model kit that I have ever owned. And I'm sure you're asking, how can it be the worst model kit? Well, let's find out together. So the first thing, looking at the box as usual, we've got a rather nice image of the IL-2 flying over Berlin. And Mistercraft generally does have quite nice artwork on their boxes. It's quite eye-catching and it makes you think, oh, that's something that I would like to get. Down here, bottom right, it tells us that this is a new kit. That is a little bit misleading because the kit itself is not new. It's just new to the Mistercraft range in the sense that it's got different decals. Flipping over to the back, we've got a sort of advert on the different kits that are available in the range, which is, quite nice to see because it gives you an indication of what you might be able to get. And as I've said in previous videos about Mistercraft, I do quite like getting Mistercraft kits because they do have some very interesting subjects. The long edge of the box here has some information in different languages, pretty much just safety information on that side. And then on this side, we've got indication here that there are two different paint schemes. On the short edges, it tells us that it's a skill level of 3, which is an average, and that the item number is C28. But looking at the box, you'll notice that it is ever so slightly damaged. And that's because I bought this on Amazon and the box just didn't survive the postage. Those lovely guys at the fulfillment center clearly decided to put it in one of those like envelope packages. So as the courier dropped it off, it has become compressed, which normally wouldn't be so much of a problem. But here is the first issue with this kit. The fact that nothing on the inside, apart from one part, comes in a bag. So if I had lost anything, because obviously it's compressed, or if it got damaged, then it would be gone. It would be gone out the gaps in the corners of the box and it would be gone forever. So you'd have to get onto Mistercraft and say, can I have a spare part please? So as usual, we'll move the plastic parts to one side and all the transfers, and we'll have a look at the instructions. On the outside there, we've got the standard format from Mistercraft. Brief history of the aircraft in various languages. Obviously it's been through a translation of some sort, so it's not exactly the most accurate depending on which language you're reading it in, but it's not too bad. And I'm not going to mark them down because maybe English isn't their first language. We all speak differently, so fair play. We've got some information there which you can sift through and find out about the actual aircraft. This is one of those long, forever, ongoing booklets. It just keeps opening up forever and ever. We've got ourselves a sprue map here, which is really handy because it helps you identify where the parts are and in case you've lost any. And then we start to progress on with the instructions. So we are building up the pilot seat assembly, and it tells me that there is a decal that needs to go on there. Don't waste your time looking for that because it's not included. Progressing on down, we assemble the cockpit interior and you think, oh, that looks fairly well detailed. There's a few components in there and the drawings make the parts look quite nice. Moving on down, we're getting into closing up the fuselage, assembling the wings, and then here we're building up the machine gun assembly, and that looks to be quite a detailed representation of the machine gun assembly. So looking at the instructions here, you're thinking, oh, I'm going to get a reasonably detailed part. The only thing that annoys me about these Mistercraft instructions is that they tend to be a little bit vague and there tends to be quite a lot going on, so you really have to sit down and read them to figure out what you're supposed to be doing. Also, there will be stuff in these instructions as you look through, just like with that decal earlier, that it's not going to be present, it's not going to be relevant, so you're pretty much going to have to guess. Anyway, flip over onto the back. And we have got the marking and painting instructions. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 different painting schemes. They are, in essence, pretty much the same. There are a few little colour differences on the camouflage. Primarily, though, it's down to the transfers. depicting different aircraft from different squadrons and different countries. And here is another problem with the instructions. So down the bottom, we've got our various identifiers for the different colours. So let's take a look at A. A is a dark green, and we've got a FS number there. So that's quite handy. I'll just put it into Google and find out what the relevant paint colour would be in the company that I'm using my paints from. But if we look here, and I know which one in particular I want to look at, is C. So this is a sky blue colour. Okay, yep, C is sky blue. But apparently C is also this brown colour. And C is also this red colour. So which one is it? Which colour am I supposed to use, Mistercraft? So from this, it's a bit misleading, it's a bit complicated. If this is your first kit, you're going to be very confused. Is it blue? Is it red? Or is it brown? I don't know. But this is the thing. Once you've started noticing problems, so the first problem was everything was not in a bag, so I could have lost it. The second problem was decals are not included when they are indicated on the instructions that they should be. And now colours, paint colours, are not right and they don't match up with the callouts. So what else is there going to be? What other problems am I going to have? Oh, just a small point here. If you do lose anything, make sure you fill this out, send it off, or go online, because from my experience, Mistercraft might be able to send it to you. Cool. So instructions. Okay, I guess. Not too bad, but not too accurate. So let's look at the transfers now, and we get 1, 2, 3 transfer sheets. So this little one down here is just numbers. They've clearly forgotten to print the numbers for something, so we've got those on a little sheet. The yellow looks to be quite transparent, so I'm not sure you'll be able to see that particularly well when you've applied it to the model. We've got this sheet here, and the printing is different on both of them. The decal film on this one seems to be a lot thinner than the decal film on this one. The printing on this one seems to be a lot better than on this one. But I'm worried that on this one here, you will end up losing the transfers. I think they're going to rip. Down here, it tells us it's for a different kit. It's for B25, and this one tells us it's for C28. So you're going to just have to take a bit of time, care, and patience trying to figure out which ones are which. From my experience of actually putting on these sort of Mistercraft transfers, it was moderate. They do work, but they're not the best transfers in the world. Anyway, with that done, let's move on to the actual plastic parts. There we go. 2 sprues, and in a little bag, I've got a clear part. So let's get that one out, shall we? So let's take a look at this clear part first. And it has got clear parts on it. It's not completely clear. There are moulded lines for the cockpit canopy, but it's not crystal clear. There seems to be scratches and sort of clouded parts in some places. It's almost like it's been scratched there. And there is a little bit of flash on it as well. So it's not the best. It does feel a little brittle as well. I'm worried that if I were to mask this with tape, I would end up cracking it or breaking it. So it's kind of swings and roundabouts with this one. And that's the only clear part you get. You don't get anything else, you don't get any lights. It's just this one cockpit part. Cool, right. So let's look at this sprue here. And just by looking at it, I can see that we've got a fuselage half, wing halves, a part of the tailplane, landing gear, seat, and I think that's the machine gun up there. And do you remember earlier when I said that the machine gun drawing, so if we get the drawing back out, that machine gun there looked really well detailed in the drawing. Wow. There it is. It's not detailed. It's effectively a lump of plastic which has got a load of flash all over it. And as we look through, you can see that there's flash on basically every single part. On this one, we've got some weird molded squiggles. There is just an excess of flash there. This has got so much flash coming off of it, it looks like it's sort of go faster stripes. This is going to require a lot of cleaning up, and then this wheel here hasn't even been fully molded. It's missing some of the plastic. And there's even excess plastic there, sort of where the sprue meets the plastic part. Okay, so let's take a look at the other sprue. Maybe that one will be to a better quality. Nope, it's the same. It is exactly the same. We've got the same problems on this one. Excess flash, excess plastic all over the model. And there are scratches. There are so many scratches on this. It's almost like the tool for the model was just thrown across the floor because there's just scratches all over there. And what I noticed earlier when I was looking through this, it's like someone here, there, you see that sort of crosshatch on there? It's like someone's tried to do extra detailing by, I don't know, scratching the tooling to make it, but they've done a terrible job of it. Yeah, there's so many scratches on the inside here. Your ejector marks as well, they're quite prominent, and to be honest, some of it looks a little bit warped. Individual prop blades, which I'm not a fan of, and just, yeah, this is going to be an absolute nightmare to build. The detail, I forgot completely. I'm looking at so many problems, I forgot to look at the detail. Well, the detail is effectively non-existent. You've got raised panel lines pretty much across the model. They're not particularly raised, so they're going to give you a representation of detail. There are a few little recessed details here and there, but like on the inside here, there's no detail. So it's very, very crude. It's a very crude model kit. I mean, you're only getting 2 sprues, really. There's not that many parts. But yeah, let's wrap this one up. So we get 2 sprues of, well, lumps of plastic. One thing I forgot to mention is they don't feel particularly greasy. It's like it hasn't had any mold release used at all, so maybe that's part of the problem. 2 grey sprues, a clear part, which is, well, it's sort of the shape that it's supposed to be. You get 3 transfer sheets for, well, different models, I guess. You get one for C28, one for B25. They are going to be of different quality. I mean, the printing isn't too bad on them, but again, they're not going to be amazing. And a set of instructions with, well, the colour printing is nice, but they do ask you to do stuff that doesn't physically exist in the kit, like adding decals to the pilot's chair or using the same colour when it should be different colours. So yeah, it's just, I just don't know. I just don't know. Like, this is the kind of kit where you think to yourself, you're either going to laugh or you're going to cry. All of that came contained within a rather flimsy box, which was crushed, and I could have lost all of the parts. So, there it is. IL-2m3 in Operation Berlin colours from Mistercraft. So before I round up my review on this particular kit, let's talk a little bit about the history, and it will be absolutely no surprise to any of you. This is originally a ZTS plastic model kit from 1986. So it makes sense in the level of quality there, but I feel like it's not been looked after since then because of all those scratches and all of those other imperfections that I just seriously doubt would have been there on the original one. This particular version is from around sort of the mid-2000s. I looked online and I couldn't wholeheartedly pinpoint a date for this particular kit. Apparently though, there is a more recent version of this kit from 2017 and it's in captured German colours. And there have been other versions as well, so if you go online and look for it, you might be able to find this particular moulding but with different transfers. It seems to me that Mistercraft love to box these sort of kits nice and cheap, throw loads of different transfers, loads of different schemes at them, so they have some very nice cheap kits out there. Not in the quality of the model, but in the actual price. And talking of the price, this cost about £5 when I originally bought it. And I have been led to believe that this has been available cheaper, but also for much more. So if you're looking at spending over £5 for this, I mean, I wouldn't even spend £5 on this. This is like £2.50 kind of price, really. If anyone's asking you to pay more than that, just don't. I know there are some people out there who love this sort of thing. They love having a kit that they can mess around with and fix and try and, you know, it's a challenge, isn't it? This kind of kit is a challenge. But if you're new to modelling, just don't. Just stay away from this kit. Don't go near it, because I'm sure that it will just put you off modelling completely. There are other versions of the IL-2m out there, so it would be worth getting a different one. But anyway, I hope that you enjoyed this review and found it useful. I mean, I get these kits so that you don't have to. And part of the reason why I can afford to get new kits is due to my amazing patrons and channel members over on Patreon and here on YouTube. So a massive thank you to these guys. If you'd like to join the people on screen, take a look at the links in the description. Alternatively, if you'd like to support my channel for free, please click that like button and subscribe with notifications on so you never miss a modelling video. All that's left to say is thanks for watching this video, and I hope that this particular kit hasn't put you off modelling completely, because at the moment I need to go and have a sit down and rest because of how absolutely terrified I am of starting this one. If you would like me to build this one, and I'm sure you're probably going to leave a comment down below telling me that you want me to build it because you want to see me suffer, then feel free to do that as well. But anyway, I think I've spent enough of my time talking about this particular train wreck of a kit, and I'll see you all on the workbench again next time.